Okay, let's try this again. So after my last crash, I am doing the review again. Here we go. Stephanie, first of all, you have made some wonderful changes to your site. When I opened up this site compared to the last time that I saw your site, I was really, really impressed. You did a good job. I know that getting a website together can be very frustrating, so please do not give up or get too frustrated. As long as you're making little improvements and moving forward, that's the most important thing. So, without further ado, first impressions of the site, it's very clean, easy to read, not distracting at all. Just as a personal preference, I don't like the darker themes myself, but that's totally a personal thing. You're doing it very well here, so that's fine. This one image being here, I would really prefer that it was a screen show, or, something more than just this one image. Like, I feel like there should be more here to see. Like, I should be able to click and see more pictures or something. So if that's possible, I would do that. Also, when I scroll down, there seems to be some leftover space here, which is a little disconcerting. So I would either make it not scrollable, or if you can remove that extra space, that would be good. Your logo is pretty small. It's a little bit difficult to read by Stephanie West at the bottom. I can read it, but I'm pretty young, so I would imagine that older folks might have some trouble with it. I don't know if that's necessarily something you can change at this point, but just keep that in mind. The menu. Generally speaking, people read from left to right in English, so the most important things should be on the left, because that'll be the first things they see. So what you really want to do is think, what order do I want people to navigate my site in, right? So I would advise not having your About page be the first thing, because if I'm a visitor, the first thing I'm thinking is, number one, I want to see your work. Number two, probably information or pricing. Number three, then I want to know about you, and then I want to contact you. So I would move either your portfolio or your blog over as the first and second things. Definitely keep the contact to the far right. That's kind of become a tradition and it's expected by clients now, but I would rearrange the menu a little bit if you can. Clicking on the About page. So this is my second time doing this review, so I've already read through this all. But initial thoughts, I love that you have an image here. That's really good. You look relaxed and happy. That's excellent. There could be a lot of changes here that would really, really help this out a lot. First of all, I would really advise getting rid of this paragraph starting with, I am so excited about what I do. It's true and it's nice, but the problem is every single photographer site that you look at is going to say that exact same thing. So by the time I've gotten halfway through that paragraph, I kind of am done reading this because I've read it a million times. Especially for clients who are probably have 4 or 5 other photographers' tabs open while they're going through your site. You really got to streamline this, so I would cut that out. The know a little bit about me part is really nice. I love that you say they've been the subjects of thousands of your pictures. The part where you say photography is a wonderful way to give me an identity other than mommy and Chad's wife, I would take that out. I know what you're trying to say, and it's totally nice, and I get it, but to a client, what that sounds like is, I don't feel like mommy is good enough, so I wanted to be a photographer so I can feel good about myself. That's just not a very positive thing to a client for them to hear. Also, this is your job. They're trusting you with probably a lot of money to be able to use your services. So it's kind of downplaying that a little too much as a job. It's kind of, I would just remove it. It doesn't really come across very well. This next paragraph about your niece asked you to photograph her for senior photos. This is a really great example of what is called a founder's myth or a founder's story, and those can be used really, really, really well to really draw people into your About Me page. So after this review, I'm going to link you to an article about that, about how to expand on that and make that more of a focus of the page, because I think that would do a lot to improve things. You specialize in family and children's photography. That's awesome. This right here, my sessions are stress-free and fun, all of the information after that, this is awesome. This is really, really good because you're painting a very specific picture of what I can expect as your client. I would start that off on its own paragraph because you really want to emphasize that. I love that you have the husband say in there. What you're doing right there is the essence of marketing. You are taking a concern of your target client and you're addressing that right away. You're saying, I understand you, I understand the problems you have, I can fix them, I am the solution that you're looking for. And more than just saying, hey, hire me, you make a lot more money when you can fix things for people or fill a desire that someone has. So that's really, really good. Okay. So moving on, clicking on portfolio. What I would really suggest is to try to streamline this a little bit more. This is just like way too many categories. Like I said before, I've already been through all of them in my other reviews, so I'm not going to do that here. I'm sorry you don't get to see it, but I would suggest strongly removing the large group and possibly the sports photography from the portfolio. Your website is to pull in people who want to find out more about you, to turn them into clients. And I'm guessing that what you have here in the large group area, anybody who Googles a photographer in your area, they're probably not going to be motivated by this section. Like, there's nothing here that tells them about you as a photographer. You did a really good job about it, but I guess what I'm trying to say is if somebody looks up an Ohio photographer and sees this page, they're not going to say, oh, that's perfect, I need a photographer to capture 6 people, including the pastor in front of the altar. You know what I mean? It's a little too specific to this particular group, and it's really clogging it up here to have this many categories. So I would remove that. Sports photography, as far as I know, I think most people book the sports photography through schools or through certain companies. If that's the case, I would also remove this because you're not getting more sports photography clients by them stumbling upon this page. If I'm incorrect, then definitely ignore that. But I would just do some thinking about how you can cut this down. Boudoir, a lot of photographers will note that they've lost some clients over having boudoir on the same site as families and kids. Just because if somebody's coming to look for family pictures and they see boudoir and that's offensive to them, then you've lost them as a client. Now, a lot of photographers will say, well, screw it. If they don't like it, then they can just go somewhere else. So if that's how you feel, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with alienating people who you don't want to work with. But just give that some thought. I know a lot of photographers have a separate site for that so that they can just link people to that site who are interested in boudoir specifically. So give that some thought. I would really urge you to always make sure that your portfolio is just showing the best pictures that you have. Also, I would definitely get rid of this, whatever this name tagging is. That looks horrible. Don't do that. I see it's not on some galleries, so I'm guessing that the weddings ones was just missed, so I would get rid of that. Also, be careful not to repeat very similar photos in a static portfolio like this. These 2 images with the same bridesmaids, I would just pick one, because there's nothing useful I learned from the second one that I didn't learn from the first one. I noticed also newborns and babies doesn't really fit, so I don't know if you can change the width of this menu or reword it. That's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, it's not a game changer, but I don't know. There's got to be some other way to do that. Maybe just make it babies and just have them assume that newborns is in there. I don't know. That's not really my specific genre, so maybe you can ask some advice from other newborn photographers on that. One thing I did notice going through is that there's some repeated pictures in both families and kids. So what I would actually suggest is just get rid of the kids category and put those in the families category. Because as a mom, I mean, I'm saying if I were a mom, it wouldn't confuse me at all to have the kids' photos in with families. That's a very natural feeling combination to me, so I would think about doing that. With couples, I was a little bit confused because when I see couples, I assume that it's like engagement pictures or pictures of people who are just in love, but I see from the URL that it's baby on board, so I don't know if this is actually maternity. So that's a little bit confusing. Like, this definitely looks like maternity because he's holding her belly. But then she doesn't look pregnant, so I don't, this is very confusing. If it is maternity, I would change it to maternity. That would make a lot more sense fitting in with your theme. But yeah, couples is probably not the right phrase for that. Also, make sure that you have this in order of what's most important. So the things that you want people to hire you for the most need to be at the top. You did good with families, but just make sure that it's accurately reflecting what you do. There's just a lot going on in here. I don't know. Try to cut that down a little bit if you can. Going through the first time, I was really, really annoyed by the client galleries in my account. Because here's the thing. If I'm stumbling upon your site as a potential visitor and I hit client galleries and then I hit one of them, I can't go any further. So this is useless to me. Like, there's no point in me even seeing this because I can't do anything with it. It's a nice gallery. If you had these in your gallery, that would be fine, but it just, there's not really a point having your main, especially even before I see blog or, and my account especially is just a blank page. Well, I'm assuming that's really useful for your clients is site visitors. So what I would recommend is if you can put them on the other side of the menu over here in the lower right, I would do that to kind of separate them from the actual quote-unquote main menu. Also, I would make client galleries and my account fit under one menu item saying clients or something like that. Just cut these down because there's no reason why there should be two different buttons that do me no good as a visitor. Another option, some photographers don't even include them on their website menu. They just email them directly to the client. Or if you wanted to, you could make your client galleries non-passworded to allow visitors to look through those as well. But that's kind of already what your portfolio is, so it kind of would be a repetition. So, okay, so contact, I would add an image here as well, either the same about image or another one. Psychologically, that's a lot better. You need a smiling face there to reassure them as they're typing. It's really good that you have your email address here. I would really advise you to check your contact form monthly by testing it out, because contact forms can break, and nothing sucks more than finding out that your contact form has been broken for like 3 months and people have been trying to email you. So definitely test it. A lot of photographers will say also to have 2 email address fields to make them type it twice, because if they screw that up, you will not be able to, if they accidentally type in the name wrong, it'll be really hard to figure out. I mean, if they spell Gmail wrong, then yeah, obviously that's an easy guess. But if they spell the first part wrong, there's no way you're going to be able to figure it out. So just a little bit of advice. As far as formatting, I would move over the phone number to the next line just so it's not cut off. Okay.